Hello everybody and welcome back to Boss Bites. I'm the Bkbossman and we are back on Kerbal Space Program. In the last episode, you remember, we were building a satellite network, and here we have our ship and a dozen satellites on it that we are going to put into orbit. Now if you have a look at the moment, you'll see we've got a geostationary position here, but we don't have one here. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring the vessel back round to just before the geostationary orbit. Just allow that to come all the way back round. Okay, now that that's done, what we're going to do is we're going to select one of these as our first unit. So for example, we might go with this one here. Off she comes. So switch over to that one. Just allow it to bring itself out a bit, and then we'll take out the solar panels. Excellent. Okay, so obviously what we want to do now is we want to match this into a complete geostationary orbit, which means making that one there at the top, the periaps, we want that to be 2864 as well. Two 864. There we go. Now the problem is obviously we don't know what our burn time is just yet, so what we'll do is we'll just do a very quick burn with the motor that we have here. And as you can see, we need to do a 5-second burn in 6 minutes. So switch yourself to the prograde position. Just allow that to reach where it needs to be. Of course, we need to set this to control point. Sorry, click control from here, and then put control point default. Because you've launched this from another vehicle, it uses this here as the control point. So we need to set that as the main part as the control point here, the main body, and then we need to use that so that's pointing in the correct direction. See, we've already put some fair amount of distance between us and there. So let's have a look. We need, once we reach that apoapse, we're going to need 6 seconds, and that will put us with an apoapse, or apoapsis of 28.6, and it will give us a geostationary orbit. So let's get close to it and get it in position. Just fast forward in time a little bit there. Make sure you give it enough time to correct itself. So we now have 37 seconds. As we've stated in all the previous videos, what we want to do is to give ourselves half of our burn time. So our burn time would have been 6 seconds. We want it to be going on 3. Maximum burn for the full 5 seconds. And that will give us a geostationary orbit. Nearly there. Okay, there we go, getting in that extra bit. Just monitor. There we go. 2864. 2875. So we're a little bit of it. Just going to bring that down just a touch. We just wait until we reach the periapsis there. Let's get rid of that. Walk to the periapsis just here. And then we'll just get those, the 2864, so we'll just get rid of that tiny bit that's left. Excellent. Okay, so that now gives us a satellite on a geostationary orbit. But you'll find that as we go around, that satellite is going to be overtaken, or undertaken if you like, by the original ship over here, which we should. We need to use the map to switch to it. Okay, let's switch to that. Okay, switching. So we see that there. What we're going to do now is we're going to do a full loop again, bringing us to here. So there you go, there's our CurbNet relay going around. And you'll see that we have made a fair amount of distance between the two. Okay, so now we're going to launch relay number 2. That's this one. Let's do the opposite side. They do like a bit of symmetry. So firstly what we'll do is we'll change our control point. So control from here. Extend solar panels. We'll give it just a short burst just to get it going. Let's start the engine, that does help. Okay, so that gives the enough idea of our thrust vectors and its abilities to make that work. So once again, add maneuver, get your periaps up, and we want that to match 2864 again. 2864. That's just a touch too much. Excellent. Okay, so we're going to set that into position again. And we've got 4 minutes. To position ourselves. So we now want to be on the prograde. Just double checking that positioning. Control point. Pretty sure it was default. There we go. And that should put us exactly where we want to be, following the same orbit as this one here. The aim is to get. I'm gonna load it up with as many as I think I can fit in at a nice equidistant area, and then we'll see. I have a feeling we're going to end up with 1, 2. We might even get all 12 of them in, but let's have a look. Hello everybody and welcome back. What I've done is I've just fast forwarded everything a little bit just to bring everything along. As you can see now, we just have the one last satellite left to go. All other 11 satellites have been deployed. If we have a look at the orbits, you'll see that they're all kind of evenly distributed around the system. And like I said, what we've done was we've gone round one loop, drop off a satellite and then extended it out so that it's at a geostationary orbit. And each one of these satellites will now sit in that. They've got a little bit of fuel left in each of them, so if you need to do positional changes later on, you're able to do so. And we just have that one leftover one to do. The unfortunate bit is I believe we actually needed one more satellite in order to close up all of the gaps. But that said, we're still going to have excellent cover from the dozen or so satellites that we've already put out. So let's put the last one in. We just need to do, make sure that's all set, do a warp, and you'll see the last one I've just deployed here, just expanding itself around. There it is. And we're just going to fill into this gap here. We might not have such a bad gap as I think, actually, once we've got that final satellite deployed. Yeah, we could probably done with one just there. So let's have this one out, and then what we'll do is we'll deorbit and have a look at the network. Decouple node, expand solar panels, that's the one, extend solar panel. Mustn't forget every time, control from here, and activate that engine. Give it one quick burst of your fuel, and that's just going to give us a little bit of distance from the parent unit and also allow us to set up our maneuver node. So let's just do that, get it into position, and then that is the last of our satellites ready to go. Okay, so we've got 10 minutes to that position. It gives a little bit of space from here, and then that will zoom around inside our orbit. Don't forget as well to fit that to prograde. There we go. She is set and ready to go. We're just going to fast forward now to our last time area, to our last node. Make sure you give sufficient time for the vehicle to adjust itself. There we go, just readjusting it. Don't forget, give yourself half the time that you need for the total burn. For go. And nice and gently. There we go, that's our final satellite in position. So as I said, we have got this one leftover gap here. We probably could, if we wanted to, close those gaps with a bit of finite adjustments. You could reduce the speed slightly so that they come on an inwards curve and close that gap off if you wanted. But I think once we have a look at the positioning of the actual curve net that we've created, I think you'll find that there's going to be very, very minimal gaps anyway. So now for the fun part of this. We're going to deorbit our vessel, which is just over there, as we have no need for it now. There it is. It's mission complete. Every single one of those canisters is now empty, and all we need to do is to do a deorbit burn and get rid of it. So pop it onto the retrograde. It's going to take a while because she's a big girl. Might be easier actually to do it from this side. Let's do it from this side. Doesn't really matter. We're not planning to deorbit it in any actual position. So what we can do is we can, instead of making it do what we need, making it go all that way, we can just get it to roughly that position using the time warp. Saves using any electricity to do it. There we go. So we're near as damn it on a retrograde burn there. Be interesting to see. I mean, we've not got huge amounts of fuel left, but all we need to do is just clip that atmosphere. Just wait for the pitch yaw to settle itself down. Okay, moment of truth. Do we have enough fuel to get it back in? It's going down. Anything below 70 is going to work. Oh, we don't mind how quickly it comes down as long as it comes down. Obviously, you can, if you wanted to, you could probably retrieve most of this module from orbit as well. It wouldn't take a lot to apply a few parachutes to it to make sure it comes back. Let's get it Let's just get it down and see what happens. So we have no interest left in it now. As long as it burns up, comes to pieces, it's all good. Once this is done, we're going to examine the curb net. What's going to go first? Place your bets now. There's the panels. Ooh, one of those is going to go pop. Oh, that's the engine. Bye bye. That's everything done. But as we said, no big deal because we wanted to do that. Back to the Space Center. So, moment of truth. Let's have a look at our curb net, shall we? This is what we've been working for those last dozen revolutions we had. And look at that network we have in place. This network, I mean, look at that. That's brilliant. It's exactly what we wanted. And I don't know if anybody remembers this, but it actually reminds me of the old spirograph. As I said, what would be good, as I said, would be to have possibly one more satellite inserted into there, and that would give us a complete network. But that is, well, I'd say that's something to behold. Just needs, and as I said, within that now, we now have nice clear lines of sight for everything. I think that's I think that's very, very well done. So if you follow these instructions and you've reached that point, it's a simple thing to do. It doesn't take a lot of time, but it's gonna provide you with all kinds of extra access to your network capabilities. I mean, look, we've got 12 relays in place, and any strength that you have is going to increase with these now. Okay, so that is our CurbNet relay in place. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. And other than that, you have been watching Boss Bites. I'm the Bkbossman. Thanks for watching.